I love how in your scenario, because they're aliens and they're like super advanced, they had to pre-think, you know what? There might be a situation where instead of flushing the commode, we just have to eject
emergency evacuation.
We have to eject the entire septic system. Let's go ahead and build that into our ship. This is flush. This is get rid of it.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal comedy podcast where we talk about all things spooky. I'm Taylor.
I'm Nick.
And the Halloween hangover is real.
It's all right.
For me, it is, anyway. It's the time change. That's what gets me.
Oh, yeah. That affected me, I guess, a little bit.
I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock the other night. I was like, what is this about?
I think I had the opposite issue where I woke up thinking that I slept in. What is it? Spring forward, fall back. Yeah. So we lost an hour, right?
We gained an hour.
Or we gained an hour.
Yeah. Somehow.
Yeah, exactly. So it was one of those things where I was like, oh shit, I slept in. I'm like, I gotta get started for work. But the clock was like, oh, so thank God. So it's really only like, yeah.
But yeah, now we're in that weird vortex where it's like, it's after Halloween. I'm not ready to take my Halloween stuff down yet, but I'm not ready to start. I don't really have fall decorations. Just don't have
consider
them.
The
but I'm not
decorations.
Ready to put up Christmas yet. So
I consider the Halloween decorations like the fall.
Yeah, me too.
We already took down like 95% of our Halloween stuff. But I think this year we're going to cave and do Christmas a little bit early.
Yeah.
Just because before
it goes by
it
goes so fast and it's so much work.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly like the reasoning. Like we normally wait till the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's just not enough time.
But yeah, and I'm like, okay, this year we're gonna do a little different. So
I think November 15th is my sweet spot.
Yeah, I was literally like, okay, we're gonna get through this week.
It's the second week in November.
Next weekend we'll do it, and then we'll like put it up and get it ready. So yeah, looking forward to it. This is like my favorite time of year. Halloween into Thanksgiving era.
If we just didn't have the time change, it would still be great. I'd be loving it.
I thought I saw something that they're getting rid of it.
They say that all the time. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Okay, here's my thing. What do you mean you're just going to get rid of it?
Just stop doing it. Just stop doing it.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Okay, we say, all right, we're going to switch to the daylight savings time, which is what we had, right? We're just going to set our clocks forward. And then we're not going to touch them ever again. No more switching them back.
Gotcha. Okay.
Once we set them forward again, that's it.
So then, come this time next year,
we would not be switching times.
We wouldn't be. We're just
rolling.
It's getting dark at 5 o'clock now.
So it would still just be getting dark at 6, like usual.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where it comes. Like I don't understand why we do it in the first place. Really,
where did it come from? I feel like it's like some Gregorian calendar shit. Like,
no, I think it became
like years ago.
I want to say it either showed up in like during the Great Depression or something like that because they wanted people to not use electricity as much or some shit like that. Or
it wasn't like a farming thing.
There is a farming thing.
Okay,
like that's why we go to standard time anyway, so that the farmers have more time in the morning to do. I don't know, but you're robbing Peter to pay Paul at that point. I mean,
sure.
I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Every time I see it, like it pops up, and I'm like, huh. It could be like Arizona. They got
they don't do it.
Yeah, it's like, and I'll have like with my job, I'll have like customers that are out in Arizona, and it's like when I'm trying to like coordinate, like
then you got time zones and
it's time zone. Yeah, so it's like I'm trying to coordinate with them. I'm like, well, this time here, I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. It's like 6 o'clock my time.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, Arizona's got it right. If you live in Arizona, good for you.
Yeah, I've been there before. It's nice.
I've never been to Arizona.
My granddad was stationed in the army out there years like when I was a kid, so I went out there to visit him, and it's hot, but
it's a dry heat.
It's dry heat. It's not humid heat. So I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, that's what everybody says about like Las Vegas and stuff too.
Yeah,
I can sure it's going to be 116 degrees today, but you won't even notice. It's fine.
You go to Florida, it's like, oh my god, I can cut this shit with a butter knife. I like the humidity.
I will, dude. Like being in New Orleans when it's 90 degrees outside and 100% humidity is the worst thing to ever happen to anybody.
It's like this is it. I'm not making it out of this one today. Yeah.
Me, I'm not built for that shit. No, I'm not built for it.
No.
I don't like being hot. I'd rather be cold than be hot, I think.
Yeah. That
I'm on the opinion that you can always put more stuff on. You can only take off so much with it being socially acceptable.
What do you mean I can't get naked?
What do you mean I can't get naked and stand in the industrial cooler of Sam's Club?
It's like
it's 103 degrees outside.
I have a membership here. Aren't I entitled to all the
Is my member not entitled to the membership?
It's like, what am I paying for?
But yeah, this time of year is always it's part of it's kind of nice though. Like you can get home and it's already dark, so you don't feel like you're missing anything if you don't go out. So I guess that's one plus, but
I guess.
But it's kind of a spooky night out now. When I was coming up, it was the moon's out earlier, so it's like a dark and spooky night.
Britt's mom texted,
a little windy,
and was like, "Go outside and look at the moon." So I need to go out and look at the moon.
Yeah, it's biggin'.
Is it big?
It's a big boy.
Yeah. That's another thing. I feel like every time I look at the news now, they're talking about this moon, and it's like, oh, this is a hunter's moon, or this is a
harvest moon. I think
a harvest moon, or I don't know, bumblefuck nut moon this week. It's
a splooge moon.
Happens only once every 3,000 years. Like, yeah,
brother, it's a full moon. I see it every month.
Yeah, like it's. Can't we just be happy that it's just the moon?
It's a giant piece of space rock or some shit that's affecting all of us. It's one way or another.
Yeah. But yeah, no. You know what I'm pumped for this week?
What's that?
Friday, the new Predator movie comes out.
Oh, yeah, Predator Badlands.
And I love how they're tying in, which they've done this before, it's not the first time, but they're tying in the Alien franchise into it because Wayland Industries and the androids in it and all that. So I'm really curious to see how the interaction is going to be between the Predator and the android that he has on his back. I'm pretty pumped for this movie.
I'm pumped for it, but I was really looking forward because when they did Prey, they had it like Native Americans versus the Predator. I was really hoping for a historical, like each generation's fight against the Predator, like Vikings, samurais, and ninjas.
I thought I thought it could be
that
wrong.
Might be the plan.
I thought that was the thing. Yeah, I think it's like the eventual plan.
That would be sick. I want to see a samurai fight a Predator.
Again, we were just talking about like how like you really can't trust like what you see now on the internet.
Yep.
But on more than one occasion, I kept seeing things about the next one within that kind of genre.
Universe?
Well, not universe, but that genre of like the Predator versus like different historical periods. Mm-hmm. The next one was going to be in World War I in the trenches.
That'd be sick.
There was like 3 or 4 times that I kept seeing things pop up for it.
I don't think it'd be a very long movie though. Like Predator's gonna beat ass in a trench. Like if they're all in trench warfare, all you got to do is turn invisible and get into a trench and slaughter an entire group in the trench.
Well, that's the thing though. Like sure. Like if you were to like logically look at it and like, okay, how quickly can the Predator demolish all these people? Probably in like seconds. But that's the thing though.
And then get across no man's land and demolish the other side too.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's the thing. Like that, I think that's going to be the plot though. It's okay.
Like
normally he could like slaughter all these people, but there's that one character that just somehow is like going up against the odds and puts up a good fight. I don't know if it's actually true or not, but that's what I kept
feel
saying.
Like that's the only way that works is at some point, though, like, how they used to do, like, the charges or whatever?
Yeah.
And, like, the whistle blows and the Predator's, like, going across through the Badlands and, like, all of a sudden the whistle blows and the charge and they just start firing and it, like, disables his invisibility shit and everybody's like, what the fuck is that thing?
Yeah, right. No,
Kill that thing.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. That'd be cool. But I'm right there with you. All the different like aspects of it.
I know the Viking stuff got like kind of overdone there for a little bit, but I'm ready for a Predator versus Vikings.
I think that would work, and
it would absolutely work. It would be similar to the Native American one, but only set in like Norway.
I'm more than sure they're going to open up that can of worms, because after Prey came out, it was.
But I want them to fully lean into like Norse gods are real and stuff like that. I want to see Thor and like Odin and like them fight the Predator.
That would be something, you know.
Or like I could see like a version where the spaceship comes down or something happens that like the Norse people are like, that's our mythology. That's what's happening right now. Like, that is Heimdall opening.
That is Thor. Yeah. That is Thor, and it turns out that
it's the
God,
Predator.
it's God, false gods or whatever.
Right.
It's just like
like at the end, one of them, like one of the real ones, shows up like, "Come to the need of Valhalla." You know.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That'd be cool. But yeah, no, that's exciting, and pop culture, alien related cinema this week. I'm pretty
sure.
Go watch it. It comes out Friday.
We gonna go see it? We should go see it.
I can't this weekend. I want to go see it.
You son of a bitch.
I want to go catch it on a Tuesday.
We can do that.
Whenever we have
time.
Time, but also the $5.
$6.
Is it $6? Yeah, at Warehouse. I fucking love Alien, as I have my Alien poster on the wall right there.
Right behind me, looming over my head. Hopefully, it doesn't fall off the wall.
That was the trick. It was cleaning it with alcohol.
That would hurt.
That's the one that I want to not fall.
Well, we want all of them to not fall.
Well, sure, but really, of all, that's the one because it's the coolest.
That one's sick. Yeah,
I like it.
But another poster you have that we just got at the Cryptid Halloween Marketplace involving the Kecksburg Incident, which is our topic of discussion tonight.
Yes.
Tell me about this poster, Nick. What's it got over there?
If you look at this poster, it looks like your stereotypical Golden Age comic cover. So
good old Marvel.
Imagine like any Marvel comic book from like the 1950s or 60s.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of style. It says the Kecksburg UFO incident in white letters, and it has the object that supposedly crashed in Kecksburg. Has like a ominous green glow around it with the hieroglyphics.
Sick.
Hieroglyphics.
Yes.
And yeah, it's pretty neat poster.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this discussion on the Kecksburg incident. I don't really know that much about it. This is like your thing, you know. I have my things where you're like, I'm just going to sit back and listen.
Yeah,
and that's what I plan on doing today. But before we get to our bulk of our episode, we're bringing it back. Cryptid News Network, baby. I'll find some like non-copyright news music to throw. It's
always
in there.
like breaking news, and it's always like just a piano.
Breaking news,
like the
just a SpongeBob fish.
Yeah, like the piano, like the intense piano playing. Yeah.
So we're doing the Cryptid News Network. Nick, anything that you found interesting or anything fun involving a cryptid or anything spooky?
So one thing that I found this week was, like on TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, you'll see these like news reports and these like pictures of skulls and stuff that are claiming to be like, aliens, giants, that kind of thing. I found one where it was a picture of a skull, but it had imagine like a normal human skull, but then kind of like Daredevil where it had like the little tiny horns protruding from his forehead. Apparently this picture's been like floating around the internet for a while, and the claim is that it is a skull of an ancient race of giants that existed here in the United States. I think originally, supposedly the first ones were unearthed in like Rome or something.
Ooh.
But then there were claims that, hey, no, there's similar ones that have been found here in the United States. Let's see, so March 22nd, and this news report that I found. So I found the picture on Reddit that was posted like a week ago, but the article that it's stemming from was published back in 2022, a couple of years ago. And essentially it was a Facebook post that I'm assuming was in March of that year, was circulating around, and the claim was that archaeologists dug up human skeletons that were estimated to be 7 feet tall with horn skulls in Pennsylvania. And I think in like a 2 days, like expanded, it had like 1,000-something shares. It just kind of blew up pretty much instantly. Supposedly during an archaeological excavation in Sayre, which is in Bradford County, Pennsylvania, in the 1880s, a number of human skulls were unearthed. These skeletons were anatomically correct except for the anomaly of their projection or the protrusions from their, like the horns, 2-inch horns protruding from the eyebrows. and the fact that their average height in life would have been around 7 feet tall. So I'm guessing they're looking at the skeleton or the skull, and based off of the proportions, we're like, oh, this is how tall this person was.
Right.
The Post asserts that the bones were sent to the American Investigating Museum in Philadelphia, where they were stolen and never to be seen again. However, there's no evidence to support the claim, and it's one of those things where it just keeps popping back up and like it just doesn't die. But essentially, if you go down the rabbit hole, there's no evidence to actually support the claim.
Of course.
However, I will say this. There is, and depending on where you look at it in like the cryptid community, there is a lot of evidence that back in, around the same time frame, giants were being unearthed in the United States.
Okay.
Like there's like a mound in Ohio, like a Native American burial mound.
Right.
That supposedly, and you can find like the original articles from the Smithsonian where they sent out an archaeologist, and like in the article he's saying, no, we found like a giant. This was like an 8-foot tall person that was buried here, and then around the 8-foot giant were like normal sized humans. So they were saying
that they worshipped the giant or something.
Either they worshipped him, or that this was somebody that like to them was somebody that they revered, like in the community.
He was a pillar, as it were, physically and theoretically.
I guess
in their community.
Yeah, right. Like, of course, there's like no photo evidence or anything. And yeah, but here's the thing though. Like, so Smithsonian shows up.
This sounds like an episode.
Oh yeah, totally. It totally would be. Like, dude, there's like it's a fucking rabbit hole.
The giants of America.
But apparently, like the Smithsonian went out of their way. They were like, we got to cover this shit up. I don't know how true it is or not, but there was like a lot of like speculation in the community that like once the Smithsonian got involved, they did everything in their power to like erase any trace of like giants in America. Apparently, in like the Grand Canyon, you can find, if you go deep enough, you can find like pictographs of like, I'm assuming they're depicting giants or whatever, or like giants would have made them. There's like some cave supposedly somewhere in the Grand Canyon that was like the same thing, buried like with giants, but then the Smithsonian showed up and they covered up all traces of it and some shit like that. It's like it's pretty wild. So I read articles like this and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe there's no evidence to claim it, but then this kind of turns into the whole like, is this one of those Smithsonian things where like they did everything to like kind of cover up like the history of giants in the U.S.? I
wonder why they would try to cover that up though.
I said the same thing.
It's a strange thing to try to cover up.
But the thing is, you can find articles from like way back in the day where they're actively talking about it. They're saying, yeah, we found giants, but then the Smithsonian showed up and they're like trying to like scrub it from like history or something like that.
It's so strange.
I don't know why. Of all people, you would think they'd be the ones trying to preserve it.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty insane. But no, I can't. I'd love to do an episode on that because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that might be. Maybe that's our next week episode. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll see.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Okay. This one came kind of similar to giants in Pennsylvania. I was scrolling on Facebook earlier today, and I happened upon a group that was suggested to me or something like that. And I don't remember the name of the group. I just kind of screenshotted this, but it's a like Bigfoot reporting group or something like that.
Okay.
And they got a submission. So I clicked on what the submission was. And this happened up near mile marker 169 on I-80. So
not too far from us.
Not too far, but probably up near like Penn State.
Sure.
So they have it's an anonymous report, so I can't give you this person's name.
Sure.
But he gives you a detailed description of what happened. So I'll read you what allegedly occurred.
Okay.
So he says that we were traveling westbound on I-80 in PA near mile marker 169, following another car which was about 150 yards ahead of me. I was matching traffic speed at 77 miles per hour. There are 4 lanes of paved roadway, 2 for driving and 1 each for pulling over. 1 right, 1 left. Looking ahead at the car in front, I noticed something in the center of the right-hand pull-off lane. It began moving to the left towards the car in front of me. I immediately thought, what the hell is he doing? He's going to get hit. I thought it was a person at first because it was moving in an upright position and on 2 legs. It crossed in front of the car. How far in front, I don't know, but I could still see some portion of the head above the car in front. It was a Subaru, so I thought for sure there was going to be an impact, but it continued past the car towards the guardrail. At that point, I had more clear visual on it. It was completely dark, all the same color. From head to toe, there wasn't anything that stood out as different in the appearance. It had a more slender/slim build, and I wanted to say, I think, long arms that were not held upright or upwards as it moved. It was the way it moved across the road that shook me. Nothing quick or jerky like a sprinter. It was fast but almost gliding, or some motion to it. The whole incident might have lasted 2 to 3 seconds. It disappeared over the rail completely effortlessly. It never stopped to climb over. I thought there was a cut in the roadway there, the kind where troopers like to sit, but there is nothing. Says his wife was in the truck with him. Of course, she didn't see it. She was busy taking in the scenery. And after seeing what I saw, we checked the internet, and there are other reports in the same area, Bald Eagle Park, Penn State, Milesburg. Just wanted to add that I know what I saw, but I don't know what I saw. I'm an avid hunter with 50-plus years in the woods, and this was not a bear. The time was 5:30 p.m., sunny clear skies, and low 70s. Now, what's interesting about this is somebody follows up with these Bigfoot observation reports or whatever.
Is it the kind of situation where when they give details like that, they look at like the weather reports, they look at like what actually was going on, and then to try to corroborate it?
Yep, so I'll give you the follow-up investigation. I spoke with the witness in detail about his sighting. The witness is a retired civil engineer and an Air Force veteran. Over the course of our conversations, I found him to be sincere and very credible. Due to privacy concern, the witness requests that he not be named in the report. The area of the sighting took place on Route 80 West, approximately 11.5 miles northeast of the town of Bellefonte. The area north of Route 80 is characterized by open farmland sloping upwards away from the highway, rising to a heavily forested ridgeline that abuts Bald Eagle State Park and the massive Sproul Straits Forest to the north. South of Route 80, there is a low forested ridgeline named Sand Ridge, about 11.5 miles long, that runs from the southwest to the northeast, south of which lie additional plots of farmland before rising to meet the high forested ridgelines of the Nittany Mountains. So, take that for what you will. Maybe a possible Bigfoot sighting right up in not really our backyard, but
close enough.
Up that way.
It's in the general area.
So I thought that was pretty interesting that somebody would, one, have such a detailed report and remember it so vividly, but then also an investigator would follow up with them to get more additional facts. And
well, that's what the
fact that it's an Air Force veteran and a civil engineer kind of adds a little bit of credibility to a story.
That's what the Mothman. Remember the episode of?
Yeah.
That's what he would do. He goes around to supposed Mothman sightings, and then he follows up with the witnesses, and he checks like weather reports. He checks like
moon phase, cloud coverage.
The idea is the more description that they can give, if he can check and look at like the facts behind that, then he tends to believe that it's more credible of a sighting.
Right.
So that's neat.
Yeah. So that was our Cryptid News Network report.
I can dig it.
Now let's get back to the Kecksburg incident. All right, Nick. Kecksburg incident. Take us back to December of 1965, right? 1965?
Yeah. So if you will, join me on a cold and windy dark night on December 9th of 1965, where a spectacular fireball streaked across the skies over multiple U.S. states and parts of Canada. The event that unfolded in the small village of Kecksburg, of course, becomes known as the Kecksburg Incident. Kecksburg, for those of you who do not know, it's in Pennsylvania. It's about 30 to 40 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, and supposedly in the town, this is where a metallic object fell out of the sky and crashed into the wooded area in Kecksburg. Sometimes it's referred to as, America's other Roswell.
The new Roswell.
Like the new Roswell, or the other Roswell incident. So a little timeline of what happened, what went down in ye old Kecksburg village. Ye old Kecksburg. Around 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time on December 9th, 1965, observers noticed in the sky, spanning at least 6 U.S. states and Ontario, that a fireball was seen streaking across the sky. Witnesses in and around Kecksburg reported a thump or vibration. They saw blue wisps of smoke, and heard a loud noise kind of coinciding with the event. So they look outside, they see this thing streaking through the sky. There's like blue smoke coming out of it. Some local,
Gravey's naked.
Oh God, it's fucking butt ass. How do you say it?
Butt ass naked.
Butt ass naked. I've heard it, but say both ways. He's buck ass naked. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. But like,
Because maybe bucks are naked, like the deer.
Maybe
butt ass naked. I think gets the point across.
I don't know.
You see his whole butt.
We're talking butterball naked.
Whole asshole just out on display.
Honey baked ham naked. Fucking Thursday, Thanksgiving dinner. That honey ham is just sweating.
Juicy.
Butt ass naked.
Thick.
Streaking across the sky. Some local volunteer firefighters and residents say they found a bell or acorn-shaped metallic object partially buried in the woods with strange markings, which go on to be described as like hieroglyphics, and no visible propulsion system. So imagine, if you will, kind of like an acorn, like a bell-shaped metal object, but there's like no rocket. You know, we look at rockets today, we can kind of visibly see where like the propulsion's coming from. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, this object had none of that. It was just like a metal object that just landed in the...
Interesting.
Yeah. Early media reported the area being sealed off by the U.S. Army. Sometimes the Air Force is what is cited that shows up. The PA State Police and onlookers being kept away from the crash zone. So yeah, that's the incident itself. So basically, kind of similar to what happened in Roswell. Something crashed. Something was seen by multiple people.
It was like hundreds of people.
Yeah, it was like, because it wasn't just PA. I mean, it crashed in PA, but it was like,
but like even the town itself of Kecksburg, it sounds like
multiple,
almost the whole town.
Multiple witnesses, yeah. So like, it's one thing where like in Roswell there was like one or two. I mean, there were a couple witnesses, but like the main two were like the rancher guy, and I don't even think he saw the crash. I think he just, I don't, if I remember correctly, I don't think the rancher witnessed the crash itself.
He just showed up first.
He I think the next morning when he was out there working, he found like all the debris and stuff like scattered around.
Yeah.
And then reported it and was like, "Hey, I think something crashed here." Whereas Kecksburg, it's different. Multiple people saw something streaking through the sky and then landed in the woods.
Yeah, the guy that seen it, like the first one to like get there, he's seen it first, and there was nobody else around yet, so he got a pretty good look at it. And then, from what I understood, he was investigating it, and it had like a buzzing sound and then like a thump, and then he heard like some people talking around him, and that's when he was like, "Oh, get the fuck out of here."
There's like different versions of it, but yeah, that's definitely one. I always get this. I get this one mixed up with. There's a semi-similar UFO story that takes place, I think, in England. And it was 2 U.S. Air Force soldiers that were stationed in England, and they see like a glowing light in the woods. They're like, what is that? So they go to investigate it, and they find like a UFO kind of just like hovering there. And the dude touches it. He hears buzzing, and he touches it, and like he starts seeing like all these like numerical algorithms and shit. And for the longest time, I would always get these stories. That'll be like another episode, but I always get these stories mixed up because like. Kecksburg was the one where the guy touched it and he started seeing like algebra and shit, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's not the case. So we have this object that crashed, and multiple people reported seeing it. The local news station, they
all seen the same thing.
Yeah.
Like there's no debate about what it looked like, what it actually was.
Yeah, like so, and you're right. So it's not like which kind of leads more to the credibility of it.
Right.
So it's not like Jimmy up the street was like, oh no, it was a long cigar shape, and and I
that
saw
thing looked like a penis.
Yeah, straight up, dick and balls, everything flying through the sky, the mighty metallic phallus. And it wasn't like that. It was everybody was like, no, it was a bell. It looked like an acorn.
Yeah. Strange markings on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's seen the strange markings.
Everybody saw the strange markings on it. They all reported like the blue wisps of smoke. So of course, the initial like official explanation, like what's kind of like held out through history, is, which of course it came from the U.S. Air Force.
It was a meteor.
Yeah, it was a meteorite fireball, also called a bolide, entering the Earth's atmosphere.
Okay. It was a meteor. And then, like, the first guy that's seen it allegedly seen it go down and then make a U-turn essentially, like
kind of like
go back in a different direction.
Yeah, and then like kind of like
ended up finding it.
Yeah, it's like meteorites don't do that.
No, they do. They totally do. I don't know what you think you saw, but they totally do that.
Why are you pointing that gun at me? Because I don't know what you think.
Just look right here at the light.
Later on, some researchers and documents suggested that the object might have been a Soviet satellite, also known as Cosmos 96. So you got to think
which is interesting to me because for the longest time, until somebody, I forget the girl's name, opened this investigation up because they were like, we want to know what it was.
Yeah.
We have the right to know. It's Freedom Actors, Freedom of Information Act. And NASA was like, no, it was a meteor the whole time. And then whenever she starts digging into it, they're like, actually, it was a Russian satellite.
The story changed.
Yeah. And they have the funniest thing to me is that NASA accidentally destroyed all the records, quote unquote, destroyed all the records they had on this thing.
What do you mean you accidentally destroyed? Okay, so there was a box, and
it was labeled Kecksburg UFO.
And it was next to this other box that said shred.
And both those boxes were directly next to our incinerator that we use for heat in our offices.
And what happened was somebody picked up
both boxes, threw them in the fire. On accident, of course. And then opened a propane tank and then lit it match and blew the whole thing up.
We then hired a wrecking crew and we destroyed that building.
Then we had a priest come in and bless the area.
And then we covered it all in cement.
Then we built a McDonald's on top.
In an undisclosed location. NASA takes fault in this. We understand that.
We understand your concerns.
Some mistakes were made.
But you have to trust us. It was just a Russian satellite.
Mistakes were made, and we own that. We're not perfect. We're NASA. Yeah.
Some of the most brilliant minds on the planet finding out the mysteries to life itself. However, we messed this one up. This one's on us.
We royally fucked this one up. Why we would have two boxes.
Now, if y'all will proceed to the gift shop, we got 10% off your first purchase.
It's like, yeah. Next question.
Yeah, just one. What the fuck?
So Cosmos 96. Supposedly, it's a Russian satellite that crashed.
To add on to this, not to get too off or to cut you off, but one of NASA's employees actually did calculations and research into every satellite that was on record. And I don't know if it was just NASA satellites or if it was, every satellite in orbit, and was pretty much like, yeah, that wasn't possible. Where it landed, no satellites were anywhere in that vicinity.
I was going to say.
So he basically was like, my employer is either wrong, they don't know what the satellite, had no record of it, or they're just lying to you.
Well, so yeah, later some researchers and documents suggested that the object was Cosmos 96. However, orbital data analysis shows Cosmos 96 re-entered earlier and in fact later, but in a different region, making it difficult to fit the Kecksburg event.
That's crazy.
So it happened. So the Cosmos 96 was a real satellite.
Right.
However, they did the analysis on it, and even though it did make re-entry, it was in a completely different region.
I feel like they just were like, what is it? Russian satellite. Okay, people are going to ask what it is. We got a Russian satellite name. Hey, I got one.
It's Cosmos 96.
That's it.
Give it to
put the name on it.
To add to that, NASA admitted in 2005 that experts actually did examine metallic fragments from the area and said they were from a Soviet satellite, but that relevant record had been lost in the 1980s.
Quote unquote lost. Unbelievable.
1967 study published in the Journal of Royal Astronomical Society of Canada concluded the object was most likely a meteorite based off of trajectory and witness data. So Canada does a study in the 60s, around about 2 years after the Kecksburg incident, and I'm assuming they did their own orbital analysis, and they were probably tracking like meteorites and satellites in the sky. And okay, there is a strong possibility that this was a meteorite based off of that. So then we have theories and interpretations. Of course, the most commonly accepted theory is that the Kecksburg incident was a meteor or a fireball. The simplest and widely supported scientific explanation, it being a large meteor or bolide that entered the atmosphere, and the perceived crash site in Kecksburg was an optical illusion or a misattribution of location.
Right.
One thing that I will say to that is you got to think of the time period when this happened. So this is like the mid-1960s. This is only, 20 years after the Roswell incident. It's only 10 plus years, about 10 years after the Battle of LA incident.
Mm-hmm.
So I think during the time frame, UFOs, and it's like right in the middle of the space race.
Oh, yeah,
this is 2 years before we land on the moon, you know?
Right.
So it's kind of a time in history where everybody's kind of looking to the skies, and there's kind of like this renewed sense of like, are we the only ones out there? And the whole thing we talked about in the Roswell episode, where like in the 40s and like 50s, everybody was reporting UFO sightings. It's not too far off from like that time period. So I can understand if, multiple people reported seeing something. I can understand, the craze behind it. But the fact that kind of leads me to believe that something did crash in Kecksburg is the fact that multiple people reported the same thing.
Multiple people, not to mention the military showing up.
And
pretty much barring the area. Like,
why the fuck are they going to show up for a meteorite? Like,
exactly.
Fuck about that.
And in my research, there was somebody, I forget what his name was, actually seen trucks carrying bricks in and out of this loading zone, right?
Yeah.
And I think essentially they were trying to make it look like they were transporting bricks in and out of but like covered up the object itself. Yeah. This guy followed the trucks to wherever they were going. And they ended up at some warehouse or something where they took the UFO allegedly into this warehouse, and the army was trying to cut into it to find out what was inside.
Yeah.
And he noted that while they were trying to cut into it, they were also building a brick wall between the object and the people working on it. I guess assuming if something was going to explode or come out, they would at least have some coverage from it.
Maybe.
Or radiation or something like that. They didn't know how radiation worked back then, I guess.
Yeah, bricks.
But he alleges that he's seen them open up and seen a hand come up out of the out of the object.
Just like the
So
why?
But noted he didn't see the object or the hand or anything like that the next day.
I saw a hand come out of it all nice and slowly like
just flipping me the bird.
It is looking around yeah. So yeah, that leads to the other theory then, that of course I think in the cryptid community, those of us who are attracted to the mysterious and unknown are probably going to be, more like, oh, it's totally UFO.
It was.
It was alien ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, because NASA, they
bunch of liars,
and the military showed up. They only show up for like UFO shit,
right? Why are the men in black here if nothing happened?
Yeah. Witnesses claiming the acorn-shaped, the hieroglyphic markings, the military retrieval, all fuel the narrative of it was an alien crash and a cover-up. This one I thought was pretty cool. I've always thought this was interesting. So, military or secret technology theory. Some suggest that it was actually a top secret U.S. or Soviet craft, or possibly they recovered the Nazi bell from World War II. For those of you who don't know, the Nazi bell, you can look up historical reports of right at the end of the Third Reich. So right when Hitler, was like at the end of his
at the height of his power, but at the end of his
kind of the
regime.
downfall. Yeah, kind of like they. The Nazis, they had their hands in all kinds of shit.
Dude, we could do an episode just on, Nazi science experiments.
Yeah,
they were like all hands on deck not with like science projects, essentially.
Yeah. They
were trying to get to space before, like in the 40s.
Yeah.
They were allegedly making Nazi encampments on the moon.
Well, the whole reason why NASA came from Project Paperclip, I forget the dude's name, the scientist he was a Nazi rocket scientist.
Yeah.
He's the one that essentially built the first rocket and kind of spearheaded that entire project and got us up to the space before the Soviets did. They sent their first satellite up into space, but
right.
we
got the first person.
We got the first person up there.
Suck it, Soviet. Soviet Union.
Because of I want to say his name was Strauss, but I don't. That's not.
Sure, we'll call him Strauss.
It's not Strauss. Strauss is coming.
But we're gonna his code name Strauss.
His code name Strauss. So Strauss, scientist, German guy.
Strauss von Strauss.
It was like something von. Yeah, I think it was. It was. But the Nazi bell. So I forget the region in Germany where it's at. You can go there today, and there's essentially 4 stone pillars at this like German like fortress, and they all kind of connect in like a ring. So if you imagine like a giant stone ring,
kind of like Stonehenge,
kind of sort of, but they're kind of connected, you know, a little bit. It's like one. The idea was that there were chains at one point falling from each one of those pillars to hook onto something, and they think what it was the Nazi bell. Now we don't have any pictures of the Nazi bell. We only have like scientific like writing of it, like journal entries.
Basically just a very hush hush.
Yeah, it was a super top secret thing. Yeah. And the only reason why we know about it was partly because of Project Paperclip, but then also once the regime fell, the U.S. they found this like, which was like kind of like Site R. It was like a fucking city, like underneath like this like field or whatever. And the whole idea was that German scientists were down there, with the regime falling. They still wanted, to have like a super city where they could work on experiments and stuff like that. And still, supposedly they found like drawings and blueprints and stuff like that of this like thing that they call the Nazi bell. We don't know what it was. We only have speculation of what it was. Some people say it was a spaceship, like a rocket that was supposed to use like anti-gravity propulsion. Other people say it was a time machine, which this is where it kind of turns into Kecksburg. So the reason why it disappeared in the 40s was because allegedly they got it to work and they time traveled to the 1960s.
Could you imagine?
But it landed in Kecksburg.
Right.
Is like the
most German sounding Pennsylvania town.
Yeah. So could explain why the hieroglyphics were on there. It could have been that it actually wasn't hieroglyphics. It was like Nazi or German, symbols or whatever like that, because the Third Reich, they were really into mysticism, so like they could have like etched shit onto the Nazi bell.
I mean, the swastika itself it was an ancient symbol for like warding of
that comes from I believe like
the Dutch, I think.
Indian, no, like Sanskrit is where
okay.
Yeah, and but yeah, which I think that's kind of cool, kind of weird, far-fetched. Yeah, do I believe it? Yeah, I don't think it was like a Nazi experiment thing, but it does.
But man, that makes for a good story.
It's cool lore, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
So, what was the lasting impact on Kecksburg after this event happened?
So, of course, like we said, the incident has earned its nickname as the Pennsylvania Roswell. In reference to the famous Roswell UFO incident in 1947. The town of Kecksburg hosts an annual UFO festival, and there's a monument to the acorn-shaped craft displayed near the fire department.
I love that.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I love that they're like, you know what? You took our acorn from us. We're going to build one.
Yeah,
we know what we saw.
Yeah, we're going to take our acorn back.
NASA might have the remnants, and the government might have covered this up, but we know what we saw.
The case has been featured in TV docuseries known as such as like Unsolved Mysteries is one of the 1990s, and remains a staple in UFO folklore and conspiracy circles.
I heard that Kecksburg now, I don't know if it's still true or not per se, but basically if you ask one person, they'll be like, yeah, it was a UFO, and the next person will be like, it wasn't a UFO. Everybody here is crazy, and it's like kind of divided the town on who believes what they saw and believes that it was something different.
Yeah.
In the whole like parades and stuff like that, a lot of like the longtime locals, I guess, quote unquote, that are very anti against this, hate those fucking people that are parading this around as like a monumental event that happened.
Well, like, I don't know, because
I feel like that probably happens in almost every town.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have people that were
except for Point Pleasant. Everybody's just like, yeah, fuck it, Mothman. He's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's interesting is because when the event occurred, I can't remember like the name of the individual, but of course this is the 60s, so like every town has like a disc jockey, right? And it's like, so this individual, he
was like an investigative journalist for the radio station,
basically, essentially. I'm just gonna call him John. John gets wind of the Kecksburg incident. I believe he makes a phone call to like one of the first people that's on site. He's like a buddy of his. I think it was the Corvair guy.
Okay.
The Corvair guy is listening to the incident. He goes and he like looks at it and then kind of investigates
and he calls
it.
in.
And he calls in to his buddy and kind of gives him like tips him off on it.
And what was interesting about that is the guy was like, he never lets people just go on the air unless he's like really vetted this source.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, you
like,
know what you like.
Tell me what you got.
Yeah.
But the thing that I thought was really interesting was like, so they make this whole story up, right? So they get all the facts, they get all their sources and everything, and they type up this unedited story that they're going to release the next day on like the radio station, kind of like a 60 Minutes kind of thing.
Right.
But then of course the military shows up.
You can't say this stuff.
They basically like blacklist them. They're like, okay, you all right, fine, you can go on air, but you got to omit this. You can't talk about this. You got to leave this part out. And he even goes, and you can hear. I think you can find a
there's an actual interview. Yeah.
There is an interview of it, and he even says like on the interview before it even starts, just to let you guys know, this has been edited. This is not the original. This is not the original
document.
Like the basically like
this has been heavily edited, and some parts have been omitted.
Yeah, he like there's the military under the bus. He's like, okay, fuck you guys. Like, I'm going to let people know that you guys stepped in and like. So
but there are still like actual recordings of, because he was on site with a like recorder.
Yeah,
and he interviewed the first. He was like interviewing people, and one was a kid, and he was like, "What did you see? Oh, this thing fell from the sky. Yeah, was it on fire? Yeah, it was on fire." And like they just kind of and like it just connects. Like everybody's seen the same thing.
Yeah,
like it's just crazy how
the military is like trying their hardest to like we got to cover this up, but
right.
When you have a whole town reporting the same thing, it's kind of like a moot point.
Yeah.
like
like and it just brings it's like why not just say like what it is? I mean, if it's a UFO. I get the whole panic that it would cause, right? But is it better to just lie to every single person because everybody knew that they saw something? Why not just let them come and look at it and be like, "Yeah, this is what it was. It's a new thing that we're testing." Like you can still lie, but just like I don't know if it's better to like try to cover it up and like you just keep like, "Yeah, it's a meteor," and no, it's a Soviet thing, and no, it's this. You're just making yourself look worse and making the lie look worse. Now you look guilty.
No, exactly. Okay. Well, now the fact you're clearly lying at this point.
The cat's out of the bag now. Like, what is it?
I don't know. I mean, it's always been like the whole thing with the UFO phenomena. It's like, why not just kind of come out and tell the truth?
Right.
You got to think of the implications of that would happen because of that.
Right. Again, mass panic for sure.
Mass panic. It would completely rewrite everything we know about religious history
to an extent, yes.
Like all major forms of religion, essentially, they wouldn't go out the window. But
see, I'm one of those people that I get that. I mean, like if you're a Genesis person, God created the heavens and the earth, right?
Yep.
And created man in His image. That doesn't mean
that's the whole implication.
But that doesn't mean that He didn't create more life before He created us in His image.
Yeah,
it doesn't throw out the Bible completely.
Sure. Or like any like major religion like that. So that's the whole reason. That's like one reason why supposedly they're like we can't like because it's so socially like. It's so imbued in like our social structures that it'll kind of like divulge society essentially. Like it would cause like chaos or whatever.
Well, we're already there almost anyways.
Yeah, I know, but I'm right there with you. Yeah, just like tell us the truth kind of thing. Like it's not. I think we're slowly getting to that point.
For
more
sure.
stuff is coming out, and because they can't hide it forever.
Yeah, well, and that with the fact that everybody literally has a supercomputer and a phone and a camera at the tip of their fingers at 24/7.
Yeah,
if something happens, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to see it and get footage
on
of
camera.
it.
Yeah, so
and you can't just keep using the same. Oh, it was a testing this. It was a weather balloon. It was like we know what we saw. Like that wasn't it.
It's like it was.
This whole street's seen it. This whole town's seen it. This whole city's seen it.
Well. The explanation is that y'all are crazy.
Yeah, right?
It's like y'all have schizophrenia. Okay.
This whole town is under quarantine now.
Right, because
congratulations.
Because every single one of you can't learn to keep your goddamn mouth shut. And some of us are trying to go home on a Friday night at 4 o'clock.
I got concert tickets to go see Garth Brooks tonight. I'll be goddamned if an alien messes that up.
Now I gotta fucking sit here and do my goddamn job. So because of that, all of you crazy. Every single one of you. Yeah. So
take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
It's like, God, fucking ridiculous.
Any other influences on pop culture this incident caused?
I've only ever seen it show up in
Unsolved Mysteries.
Like a lot of shows like that. So
Yeah.
it just comes up a lot in different.
Well, I did hear there was also a somewhat new development, and this was again just from a little bit of research that I did in 2022, I believe. A company called the Black Vault ended up getting 2,200 pages or so of the recovered files from NASA saying, what their cover-up was, essentially. I don't know if it's been released to the public or not because NASA won't let them, but there was some development going on with that.
How do you reconcile the multiple witnesses? What do you think, like from the witness standpoint? Do you lean more towards like their credibility of it being a thing because multiple people saw the same thing, or do you think it's more multiple people saw what they wanted to see given the time frame in the 60s, the space race kind of being in that kind of culture?
I'm on the side of like, again, this basically whole town seen the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm obligated to believe the people that were there and seen what they seen, and so many people seen the same thing. It wasn't like we said earlier where everybody was like, yeah, it was a large silver or a large bronze, smooth, acorn-shaped looking thing. And the actual expert, they all said the same thing, even if they didn't know each other or know what the other person had said. So, and then couple that with the multiple attempts at a cover-up by the government, by NASA, I am inclined to believe that the people of Kecksburg who were there and got eyeballs on it know what they saw, seen what they saw, and I'm inclined to believe them.
Yeah. That checks out. I tend
whether or not it truly was a UFO or some sort of alien spacecraft,
that's a whole nother
that's
thing.
a whole different thing.
But to validate the experience of what
100%
what Kecksburg, something fell out of the sky.
Everybody
saw something.
Yeah. And that doesn't just happen.
Right, yeah, sure, exactly. The same thing where they were like, oh, well, it's a small town. So that's a common theme when something crashes, or it's a small town and they want the publicity. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but then explain the military. Right. Like, why would the military show up
within like minutes?
Yeah. With the pretty quick response for the military to show up.
When who calls the military?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody calls.
How do they know that it came out of the sky? They had tabs on whatever this was.
They were probably saw, and they were like tracking something, and then like it probably crashed. And you're like, oh shit, it's on the ground.
They were tracking it, and it made that U-turn that dude's seen.
Maybe, yeah.
Threw the military off course. They bought enough time.
Yeah.
And then finally, they were like, oh shit, it's over there.
Get boots on the ground. Let's go.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Quick response.
Wall this off.
Yeah. So I tend to agree with you. I think something actually did occur. It's something crashed, and then. But yeah, just a fun.
So we're on an agreement that the town. I think we're on an agreement that the town seen what they saw.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think it was? Do you think it was a UFO? Do you think it was a meteor? Do you think it was a Russia?
I think it was the goddamn Nazi bell. That's what I think. I think that has the frozen corpse of Adolf Hitler, and I think I tend to believe that it was some sort of UFO, and the reason why. I would believe it was just like some normal meteor that fell out of the sky if it wasn't for the fact that the military showed up in such a quick. That's like the one thing to me that's
the red herring. Like that's the red flag.
And the fact that NASA completely lied about it, caught in multiple lies, times. And have gone back and like changed their story. Like you're hiding something. And it's like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to invest that energy into like hiding a satellite. Like, you
even
know
if
what
it is a Russia spy.
Yeah, exactly. Thing. Even if it was like a Russian satellite, like you're not going to put that much time and effort into changing your story, changing facts, deleting evidence, all that stuff. So I tend to believe that it probably was some sort of like UFO or intergalactic object or whatever, strictly for the fact that the military response and federal agencies are like lying about it. I tend to believe that it was probably something, out of this world.
I'm in agreement with you, man. Who knows what exactly it was, but I have to believe that it was something that the government didn't want us to know about.
It's like, yeah.
So being a piece of a spacecraft, being some sort of space waste, maybe it was like the space toilet, like the shitter on the spaceship. They just like launched it.
An intergalactic septic tank. That is like
over here, just like took a massive space duke, and they're like, "Good God, man, we're light years away from home." And you take the nastiest intergalactic shit of all time, we got to get rid of the toilet. Like, we can't.
And because
they just see our planet, like, that looks pretty good. Let's just launch it to them.
I love how in your scenario, because they're aliens and they're like super advanced, they had to pre-think, you know what? There might be a situation where instead of flushing the commode, we just have to eject
emergency evacuation.
We have to eject the entire septic system. Let's go ahead and build that into our ship. This is flush. This is get rid of it.
Man, what did you eat?
How do I know which one to push? Just always flush. We'll tell you.
we'll tell you when you need to evacuate the entire system. And then, like, he's finished and he walks into the cabin. Hey, guys, just real quick. Theoretically, if Mike's head just exploded from walking in at the stench of this, is this the time?
He's fine. Mike's fine.
He's got 3 heads. He's okay. One of them, just only one of them exploded.
Just one of them. Theoretically, of course. Would that constitute the need to push the other button?
The emergency evacuate button.
It's like he's like sipping coffee. Oh, I mean, I guess it would.
I mean, if it's causing physical harm to the crew, I guess that would be a means of at least putting in motion the legislation it takes to get this process started. And then, like, he catches a whiff of it from the cat, like the bathroom's at the back of the ship, the captain's at the front. He catches a whiff and just like hurls the coffee. Just, oh God! What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Maybe
I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it.
Thanks for your time. Yeah. And luckily, the other part.
And luckily, it all burned up through our atmosphere, eliminated the stench.
like his second in command is like, "Hey, why did the septic system just get launched out of the ship?"
And they just all like point at him.
Yeah. No, it's just. Yeah, no, I agree. There was probably some intergalactic thing. I don't know, some UFO, something that the government didn't want us to see. But of course, they can't hide it forever. So
that truth will come out eventually.
Sure. Yeah.
Just keep digging.
But that's Kecksburg.
Hell yeah.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah, man.
I love. You know me though. I get fired up about aliens and UFOs and stuff like that. So when I saw the poster, I was like, "Oh my god, we totally should do an episode on Kecksburg."
Yeah.
Because
we should do more alien stories because I feel like we haven't really covered that many.
We haven't been. No, not a whole lot.
Like aliens and ghosts are kind of. I feel like there are 2 sides of the same coin.
The giant episode will be fun too.
That will be fun. But I feel like they're kind of 2 sides of the same coin where, like, you hear one ghost story, you kind of hear them all.
No, yeah, for sure.
If you hear one alien story, you kind of hear them all.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the Pennsylvania's Roswell. You know?
Yeah.
Like you could find probably a million Roswells.
But, I mean, again, finding a Roswell incident to this extent where the whole town's seen it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
Really interesting. Really cool. I like it.
We should do an episode on the lights in Arizona, the Phoenix Lights.
Phoenix Lights. That sounds like a sports team.
Yeah, basically. But no, it's funny. It's interesting because you can find it happened in like the 90s, the midnight.
Don't give it all away yet.
You've probably seen it, the footage of it.
I think I have. Yeah. It's like the 3 lights, and they're like, and then they like start swarming around, and they like disappear or some shit.
That partially, but then a lot of people reported seeing like a giant, kind of like the Imperial Star Destroyers, triangle ship kind of thing. But again,
imagine seeing that just float into our system, and like you see that show up and
that's supposedly
come out of light space.
Well, a lot of people like reported seeing that or whatever, and like of course the government denied it. They're like, oh, it was as big as a football field, Yeah, so.
I think that'll do it for this episode of Shadows and Sightings. Thanks again, everybody, for sticking with us during the spooky season. We hate to see it go, but we're excited to bring you some episodes about different paranormal activity. And we're going to be launching episodes every week into the solar system.
Hell yeah.
Leave us a 5-star review on whatever streaming platform you're listening to this on. Leave us a comment, review. 5 stars always helps boost us in the algorithms. Trying to build that audience, baby. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell the cryptid in your life to tune in to Shadows and Sightings every week. Send us an email, shadowsandsightings@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal podcast, or on Instagram, Shadows and Sightings Pod. Thank you guys for listening to this episode, and we'll see y'all next time when we talk about all things spooky.